To give you a good understanding of the castle, I'm first going to talk you through the layout real quick. We start with the so-called buffer zone. This part starts with the entrance, which is made of clay foundations. You have two towers that have a good view over the entrance and the main land. The towers are 6 stories tall and I made use of a triangle foundation to create a circular shape. The buffer zone itself is where everybody would be inspected before heading in the main part of the build. And lastly, the bridge that connects the buffer zone on mainland to the castle on the pond. The bridge is 2 blocks wide and 20 blocks long, so the castle is located in the middle of the pond. In the second layer of defense there are 4 towers built that have a 360 degrees view. These towers are 8 stories tall and have the same foundation layout as the first watchtowers, but slightly bigger. The overall size of the platform is 30 by 30 blocks. The inner platform where all the structures are is 20 by 20 blocks. The largest building is the main hall, of course. This building is 4 stories tall and has 4 layers of roofing, which brings it up to 8 stories tall. It's 9 blocks long and 8 blocks wide. There are 2 smaller towers on each side of the entrance of the main hall that holds 2 Rotten B elites with a tower size of 3 blocks long, 2 blocks wide and 3 blocks high. Each of the smaller structures on both sides of the main hall are 3 blocks long, 3 blocks wide and 2 blocks high. If you're interested to see a little list of resources that it would take to create this design, I've got you. Hi everyone, I hope you liked the intro for this castle design and the whole explanation of how much resources it took and the whole layout of the base design. I just wanted to give you guys hands-on a little tour, a tour of the castle design. Obviously this is made in creative. It is almost impossible to create this in survival with the amount of resources that it would take to create this. I just wanted to test out how much this game could take and how far I would be able to let my imagination go before something would break or something would happen. And I was surprised in a good way how much this server could handle. Obviously there has been some issues, but I'm gonna talk about that in the end of the video. I'm gonna make a little conclusion, but for now let's get into the base presentation itself. So first of all, the base is located at the pond. I really like the whole idea of a castle or structure at least, or a base design that is located underwater. Obviously I couldn't place any scaffolding or building pieces in general underwater, so everything is on the water level, but I placed it in a way that actually shows or looks like it's under the water level. So that's really cool. Yeah, so first of all, when you come over here you have this little ramp with brick, or with clay I mean. When I made this, the pebble foundations weren't available yet, so I made it with clay, otherwise I would have changed it. So you have the guards with the stuffed ants, which obviously is going to represent guard dogs. I think 99% of the lighting that I use are green lanterns or the slime scones. I just like the green color, like the spookiness of the haunted idea around it. And I didn't really want to use the normal lighting because it lags people out, FPS drops, overall performance drops. So with the visuals of the green slime scones versus the normal lighting, I chose for the slime scones. So at first you have 2 little guard towers, which I started making because I want to try some tower designs out, because there's not really a rounded shape yet. So I was trying and experimenting with at least somewhat circular designs, and I came up with this. You have a little bit more guards over here. Every guard is, well, almost every guard has the ladybug armor. The ladybug armor really represents more of a medieval look compared to the other armors that are available in the game. So if you come over here, you have a little workbench and some chests. I obviously don't use these because this is creative, but you could, you know, drop off some quick stuff if you're coming back from exploring. On the other side, you have the same. So what I've been trying to do with this base design is that everything is really symmetric to each other. I noticed that there's a couple of things that aren't symmetric. I'm going to show you guys that later on, but overall, I've tried my best to make everything symmetrical and everything on the same height and whatnot. So we come over here. This is the location where you could go into the tower. You have another guard over here, obviously more lighting. So you have this little circular shape to it. And I use these roofs instead of normal stairs because with the normal stairs you have these support beams just hanging out on the bottom, and I wanted to make it more spacious look. Otherwise I was almost obligated to place another floor down, and that would fill the tower up with too much flooring and objects in general. So that's why I use the roofs. So let's go to the top. I thought I already gave these soldiers some armor, but obviously I didn't. But so yeah, you have 3 soldiers over here. They're on the lookout. You have 360 degrees of view, but nothing too special. I left the roofing open. I did that on purpose because of the natural lighting that comes in on certain times of the day. So right now you can see a little square over here of natural lighting, which I really like with Grounded, with Unreal Engine in general, that the lighting and the shading is really good in this game. So we're going down. I'm not going to show you the second tower because obviously, like I already said, it's symmetric to the other one. So this is the main bridge that leads to the common or the general area of the castle design itself. This is the first buffer, the first defense, so to say. You see some bug mounts, obviously more soldiers. Everything is yet again symmetrical to each other. You have a little bridge that I'm going to show you later on with a couple of more guards over here. So we could go straight ahead to the main building, or the main hall, if you would say it like that. But at first we're just gonna go over here. This is almost like the second defense layer. So you could see on the other side of the first buffer area that you have these palisade walls. I really want to mimic the walls that would be used in medieval castles. So you have higher pieces where you could hide behind. And then you have the lower pieces where soldiers would be throwing rocks, would be shooting their arrows and whatnot. Obviously this base is in the water, so all of the attackers will be swimming. But I would recommend that it would go with the bridge. So on every side of the walls you have the slime scones, obviously for extra lighting during nighttime. You have symmetrically placed soldiers everywhere. You have this little ramp. If they would run down and it would run up, it would be really easy. Obviously because of the tower that you have having here, I've made a roofing over here as well, so you have a complete ramp. You could enter these towers on each corner below the ramp. Again, in general, the tower design of the layout is basically the same. The only thing that is really different is the top. This tower is also 2 stories taller than the towers in first buffer. So we come to the top over here. You can see that it's much more spacious. That's because I made overhanging roofs or floors outside of the layout, so you can see on the other towers how it would look like if you see it from the outside. I think that this mimics more of the medieval towering compared to those ones. those ones I just kept them like that because it was some sort of like a first buffer. It was his first experiment of creating towers, and I like how they look, but with the main part I really want like massive towering. So if you look up, you can actually see roofs, and it's also again open. Due to the fact that this is in creative, I was not able to delete these roofs. If I would do this, the whole second layer of the roofs would just crumble. And this has to do something with not having any support. If I would make this in survival, you could place down a blueprint of a roof and a blueprint of a floor. And if you would fill everything in with the needed materials for the roof, and you would delete the blueprint of the floor, if that makes sense, the roof would still be there. I don't know, this is some kind of a glitch or whatnot in the game. That's why I just kept the flooring over here. You're not probably not gonna look up in this to the roofing most of the times, and it's not that ugly either, so I just kept it like that. Yet again, I'm not gonna show every single tower because it's all symmetric, it's all the same, and I'm just gonna show you around furthermore. So there's two entrances. There's 360 degrees. Well, this is obviously a square base, but you have access to the towers from each side. Yeah, of course you can also run over here. Everything is, all the walls are made with palisades. Sometimes the lights flicker on and off. But you can also walk over here. I didn't place any stuff down here. I think I did it on purpose as well, because there's not really a need to place stuff down here. And the more stuff I placed down, the longer it took to actually destroy or place building blocks down anyway. Again, on this side as well, soldiers with the ladybug armor. So this is, on each side, it's the same. So I'm not going to show everything because that's going to be a little bit boring. And you can actually look between the second, I'm going to call this the second layer of defense, and the third layer of defense, that I've made use of the natural environment of the water of the pond. So if the attackers would reach this part, they would still have to overcome this obstacle or natural defense of the water. And I think it really looks really cool, especially because the water is transparent, or really clear, I would say. So you can also see what is underneath there. But I just really like how it looks. So we're coming up to the main area over here. You can also already see it's really spacious and open. I didn't really want to have low roofing and a lot of doors. I wanted really to have it an open feel to it. And this is how you can access the third and, well, we would say the last layer of defense. Over here you can walk. You have a walkway all around the base. It's not really used to it. I just thought because of the second, the third layer of defense that I would make, that this would look nice. Maybe in the future I could place down any more guards or something like that. But like I said, I want to keep it spacious, so I kept it like this. So you have two sides where you can go up. They're both the same, obviously. If you come up over here, same idea with the palisade walls. So you have the higher pieces and the lower pieces, and the lower pieces, obviously, the soldiers are there. I made acorn fences all along because you don't want to have your soldiers falling down if the attackers are there. Obviously, maybe the attacker would throw a soldier over the fence, but besides that, we're not making it too aggressive. If we come down over here, I made two on each side. I made a storage place for planks. And if you look over here, you have your main hydration source with mountain... I would say Mountain Dew. I don't know. Water Dew collectors. And you have the workers that are actually collecting the water over here. So if you're going out and I mean, you have, I think I counted, you have over 200 soldiers. You need the water for them to keep them hydrated and keep them fed. Otherwise, they're gonna starve and they will be less happy. So on the other side, you have your mushrooms. Those are the two main sources of hydration and food. Again, you have your chest here so you can store them. And you have the two workers that are actually collecting all of the mushrooms. And as you can see, these soldiers have a different type of armor set on. And this is with a purpose. The basic layer of defenses are your basic foot soldiers. And there's nothing negative about the foot soldiers. But to protect the king or whoever is taking place in that seat right there on the throne, you need your elite soldiers. You need to have the battle-hardened soldiers, I would say. And that's why I made use of the Rod and B armor. I think it's just really cool appearance. And together with the Ladybug armor, I think these two are the most cool-looking armors in the game so far. That is why I used them. So from the inner, the inner part of the base, you would see mostly these Rod and B soldiers, or the elite soldiers, so to say. You only have two soldiers over here. I'm gonna leave that for the grand finale. But if you go on the left side, again, you can walk on each side. Over here as well, you can walk all the way around in circles or in squares. And if you're playing with more people, you're playing with friends and stuff, you would like to have the guest bedroom or storage for the guests and stuff. They can open over here. They have a couple of chests. You're obviously not going to need a lot of chests if you're placing some armor down or something else. You have your table where you can sit on. You have your workbench, your smoothie maker, and you would go up. You would have your fire pit or whatever it's called. Another chest, your bed, and a chair to chill in. And then again, the same idea of the roofing that the first towers have with an open roof. So you can have some natural light in. I didn't place any lighting in this particular room because if you turn on... If I can turn it on, you have natural lighting of the fire, so I don't have to place extra lights down over here. On the second one, it's basically the same. It's completely mimicked with the other room. So I'm not gonna go into too much detail on this room because it's basically the same. But in the third room, you have your kitchen. Obviously, when you have a lot of guests over in the main hall, you need to prepare food. You're gonna need cooks. So if you have your collectors, smoothie makers, your drying racks, your roasting pit, and of course your cook. Yet again, everything is symmetric to each other, so on each side it's the same. So maybe it's more a little bit of an OCD case. On each door you have an elite guard. And if we go to the other side, obviously I've already said it probably 10 times already, but it's symmetric. So the first two rooms are guest rooms. So if you're playing in total with 4 people, everybody could have their own room. They could store their stuff in their separate rooms. So you won't get any fights about where's my armor, where's my collected materials. But if we get to the third room, over here we have a treasury, so to say. That's why there are also 2 other guards over here as well that would protect the treasury. You have all these chests over here. I tried to line them up as perfect as I could. But then again, really open space, not a lot of roofing. There's another thing I want to show you guys. It's really fun. It's no real use to it, But in case of emergency or you're being attacked or something like that, you see there's a little gap over here. You could go under it. There's a little space you could hide, or you could place down extra chests or treasury or whatnot. So you can go around the whole side of the base. There's not a secret entrance or exit in the middle or something like that. I just thought of this idea because I was placing down the scaffolding anyway. And I thought, maybe I could just place them all the way in the same direction so you could walk a full circle around the base. We're on the other side now. But this is probably going to be, I think, the most nicest part of the whole castle design is the main hall. Because I already made different towering and different layer of defenses, I didn't feel like of making an inner castle with another set of towers. Well, you have these little towers at the front, but not really big towers. I just made a really big main hall, and I like just the look and the feel to it. If you're coming from all the way from the beginning, you can already see the throne from over here. So we're walking in. So you have two little towers with two guards in there. Obviously, again, from the B elite. Maybe come over here. We can see it's getting a little bit darker, so it's really nice to have the lighting on. You can see the main hall. I'm gonna show you guys this as well during day because I really like the roofing. But for now, I'm just gonna show you around over here. So you have your extra set of guards over here. If you would go up to the tower over here, you have a little workbench. You would go up like this. You have the two guards. And you can already see how awesome it looks during night with all the green lighting. Just gives such a good, in my opinion, a better look of every single base design compared to the normal lighting. And I actually used this from one of the base designs that I've been recording with episode 7 of the Grounded Cribs. So a big shout out. Because I felt like that the slime scones weren't producing enough light in this huge main hall. And when I was recording a base design, I actually saw that somebody was placing down the standing lights on the tables. And you could basically just glitch them. It's not really glitching, you can just place them down in between or inside of a table. So that it gives, these are actually the only normal lights that I'm using. But you can have a lot of guests here. And for the people that have a little bit of OCD, you can look at these chairs. They're perfectly lined up. I've been deleting so many chairs over time. If I would place down a building block or a chair or something in the interior side, it would take me 10 seconds on each single item I would place down. 10 seconds to place it down, 10 seconds to delete them. So it was really tedious to place everything down. No, this side it's less, you know, less lined up, but if you look at this side, it's perfectly lined up. It's just awesome. I'm really a fan of shows like Game of Thrones, Vikings, so I really like the whole idea of creating a main hall or a feast hall where everybody would be with the guests and stuff. That's why I just made so many tables and chairs. And if you come up over here, we have the main throne. Obviously, this must be a berry leather chair. I cannot make a chair of swords yet, but of course you have your two elite guards next to you. You have all of the foes you've been slaying in the backyard. And your trustworthy throne you will be sitting in while you were looking at all your guests feasting, having fun, laughing and whatnot. Alright, here's the sun coming. You can see that there's more light coming on the roof. You can see the natural lighting coming in. Obviously, and during the day you would not be in need of these normal lights. But this gives a really good look of the roof. I made it kind of on purpose, but during the experiment I just learned new things. So the roof, you can obviously see it on that side. It snaps on the left and the right side. It snaps on perfectly. But on that side and the entrance side, you can see that there's a gap in between. And you can also see it if we're coming over here. You can also see the openings over here. To be honest, it wasn't really on purpose that I made this, but as soon as I noticed that there would be a gap on one side, if it was on the longer side on the left or right side, or the back side or front side, I thought I'm gonna do it on the front side because that is the side you're actually going to be seeing. And as you can see, it really fits with the whole design of the main hall. So that's why I just made a decision. I'm gonna place the gaps of the roofing levels on the front and the back. But you can see how spacious this main hall is. It really gives the feel and look of a main hall where you could sit with everybody, and combined with the windows on each side and the natural lighting that is coming in, it's just a really good design, if I may say it myself. But I wish I could talk more about this base, but that was basically it. It's been a great joy to make this design. Even though this was creative, it took so many hours to create this. I've done 2 live streams, I think 4 hours each, and then I only made the first buffer and the side with the 4 big towers, and I didn't even make the last line of defense and the whole inner part in the main hall. And I didn't live stream that due to the fact that it took so long to place some certain stuff down because of the size of the base, that I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this off screen. I'm gonna make a video about this. Otherwise it would take 10 seconds to place and destroy each building block or interior piece. And I was like, yeah, and I'm not gonna do that. It's you know, the content is not being enjoyable or fun at all if you need to wait so long for each building piece. So that, I think, at one point took the most time. But overall, I think it's a successful base design. I really love how it turned out. I really love the amount of building pieces that we have right now, and I can't wait what Obsidian is going to bring to us in the near future. I want to thank everybody that is looking at this video. I want to thank everybody that has been a viewer of the live streams during the build of this castle design. I really love the growth in the channel right now. I think over 5 weeks we have almost 100 new subscribers to the channel, and we're almost over 80 members in the Discord server as well. So I'm really happy to see all the growth that we're going through, and we're going through it together because of the Ground and Crypt series, and I just really like that everybody is a part of this. If you have any base designs that you would like me to do, you can obviously let me know in the comments. You can join the Discord server and show pictures or screenshots of base designs that you would like me to do. If you have any questions on how certain things I've been building, obviously let me know also. And I have some ideas of stuff that I'm going to do. And give a little teaser, it's something similar to a 30 by 30 build piece as well. And I'm gonna promise you, you're gonna get lost. That is the only thing I'm gonna say. It's something that I'm going to do with the community. I'm gonna build with the community. I'm going to let the community try it out. And I will give you guys some more information when it's actually there. I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.